Galovina guia golosana angito talita kini ana barong ng Bula FM e Golden Point Resort basendo nambando ana here binaka.
Bula binaka na adang kotevita utungboy 90 ando talita wale barong ng Bula FM nambando ana sel.
Nada ko makilesi berkraki NSB ng Bula FM nambando ana sel.
Elong ratu kitchen ko tabo ando talita na barong ng Bula FM nambando ana sel ngo lusu.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Tonight, water sources on Koro Island and Vanombalavo contaminated. Prime Minister says Paris climate change agreement is insufficient, and 7 more trucks for National Fire Authority. Contaminated water sources have been found in outer islands affected by tropical cyclone Winston. This was revealed by Water Authority of Fiji CEO Opetai Ravai. Ali Kimbia has more.
A month after tropical cyclone Winston, the Water Authority of Fiji has confirmed the cases of water contamination in Koro Island and Vanombalavo in the Lau group.
There's been some issues of contamination in some of the islands. We've went to investigate, collected samples. Yes, it's contaminated.
Ravai says all focus has shifted to these islands to ensure that proper supply of drinking water is maintained.
Right now, most of their systems are working, but a lot of those villages, we're supplying water now through desalination plants put in by the military, the Australian and the New Zealand military. And those villages that had roof catchments, obviously there's no roof for rainwater harvesting, they've been supplied through desalination plant and water trucks in the islands.
Over 20 other villages have yet to be assessed for clean water sources. Drinking water for more than 500 villages has been affected by tropical cyclone Winston, and Ravai estimates damage at about $15 million. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The Paris Agreement on climate change is insufficient. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says this will be his message when he's in New York next month to formally ratify the Paris Agreement. Maggie Boyle reports.
The Paris Agreement was seen as a win, the first ever universal global climate deal adopted by 195 countries. With tropical cyclone Winston, the most severe storm in the region, Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says more is needed.
Next month I will be going to New York for the formal ratifications of the Paris Agreement on climate change. And I will be going with the strongest of messages that what has been agreed so far is not enough. As well as keeping global temperatures down, we need the industrialized countries to face up to their responsibilities to nations such as Fiji. It isn't enough for them to reduce the carbon emissions that have produced this crisis in the first place.
Bainimarama says there is a clear moral obligation for those industrial countries responsible to use some of their wealth to help Fiji and her neighbors build their resilience.
They created this crisis, not us, as we keep saying. It is we who are bearing the brunt of their excesses. The Industrial Revolution that made them affluent, and Fiji intends to do all it can to put the issue of climate resilience building on the global agenda after the trauma we have suffered from Cyclone Winston.
The Paris Agreement sets out a global action plan to put the world on track to avoid the dangers of climate change by limiting global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius. The agreement is due to come into effect in 2020. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
A flood alert is now in place for all small streams and creeks in low-lying areas adjacent to major rivers in Vitilevu and Vanuatu. People living in low-lying areas are being advised to be cautious. The Nandi Weather Office says there is a significant amount of rainfall in both main islands, and people are advised that creeks and streams may rise rapidly. Meanwhile, heavy rain overnight resulted in localized flooding in low areas in Lautoka. Josephine Navula has the details.
Waking up to flood waters inside their homes, residents today recounted what they experienced. It was about 3 a.m. this morning. We were sleeping when we could feel the water coming into the house.
Most of these families in Lobulotoka didn't go to work today, instead spending the morning cleaning their homes of flooded water and silt. This is the second time in as many months that the settlement has experienced flooding.
The first time we experienced flooding this year was during Cyclone Winston, and now it's happening again.
This Lovu resident has been living here for more than 4 decades and says this has been a problem for a long time.
All the 5 families living here had water coming in their houses, and the main cause for this flooding is the road and the bridge.
Other areas affected by the heavy downpour include Lomo Lomo, Sambeto and Natalau. Josephine Vula, FBC News.
A 39-year-old man of Diumba appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court this afternoon, charged with 1 count of rape. Chosua Dolana Undolu is alleged to have raped an 18-year-old woman in 2012 and has been detained in police custody. The man will be interrogated in relation to a separate matter. Dolana Undolu will reappear in court on the 1st of next month. The Fiji National Provident Fund has paid out $73.3 million to 66,967 applicants as of 1 o'clock this afternoon. FMPF has received 146,000 applications, of which about 20% are for the $5,000 assistance. In a press release, the fund's chief operating officer, Chochi Koroi, says FMPF needed to free its resources to process and pay all applications received so far. Applicants who wish to clarify any issues can contact the FMPF office. Coming up on FBC News, Habitat for Humanity to build homes for Tropical Cyclone Winston victims.
Yandra! I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Recreative Village. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marida Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Tilipa from Tavor Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Habitat for Humanity is looking to build around 500 homes for underprivileged Fijians after Tropical Cyclone Winston. The non-profit organization is providing shelter kits consisting of tarpaulins and tools, which are currently being distributed to affected communities. Ellen Stahls has more.
Habitat for Humanity has had great support from international donors after Tropical Cyclone Winston. These relief supplies were sent to Ra last week, and Director Masi Latianara says more will be sent out in Phase 1 of their response.
We focus on shelter and wash. Right now we're distributing, we've committed to distribute 5,000 emergency shelter kits.
There are 3 phases. The relief phase, which lasts 3 months, early recovery lasting 9 months, and the rehabilitation phase, 12 months. Masi says they will select families based on the level of need, targeting low-income earners.
We work with government, local government. So, for instance, for this response, we'll go into to the Commissioner's office and the DOs, and they will have lists of people that have come to them with their needs, with shelter needs. We will also work with other organizations that are out in the field working in informal settlements and in the formal housing sector as well.
The organization has assisted over 47 communities with over 1,391 families through water and sanitation improvements. Masi adds when the need arises, they will be putting a call out to skilled workers to volunteer and help construct homes. Ellen Stahls, FBC News.
The National Fire Authority today received second-hand fire trucks and protective firefighting equipment. Local Government Minister Pravin Bala handed over the keys to the new trucks, saying this will help NFA in its daily responsibilities, especially after Cyclone Winston. Kelly Vadala has the details.
These fire trucks came just in time to assist the National Fire Authority get more involved in operational relief. Minister Pravin Bala says the National Fire Authority was instrumental during and after Tropical Cyclone Winston, and that these trucks will contribute to public service.
The learning from these cyclones brings to the forefront the vital role of the National Fire Authority and the need to enhance capacity and capability of our essential services to respond during times of national emergencies. We all should get our acts together and work together to rebuild and assist each other during this difficult time.
The fire trucks were purchased from the Country Fire Authority of Victoria, Australia, and will be used around the country.
The fire trucks will be deployed to the various fire stations around the country, Lambasa, Sausavu, Nausori, Valilevu, and also down in the west to Rakiraki, to boost the current capability that we have and also bring about operational effectiveness in the duties that we carry out for fire services and also for emergency services.
7 new fire trucks and rescue equipments were handed over to the Fiji Fire Authority today. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The University of the South Pacific last night rewarded 31 top-performing students at a special ceremony. High achievers in various disciplines were awarded gold medals for their outstanding academic performances over the course of their education at USP. The gold medalists included local and regional students, but USP Vice-Chancellor Professor Rajesh Chandra says it's most pleasing to note the number of females recognized.
I am delighted that 55% of all the recipients are women. I think for a region that faces so many challenges in education and society for girls, this is a very good achievement.
Close to 1,600 students graduate from USP tomorrow. The Ratuman community has donated bags of dalo and coconuts for the Prime Minister's disaster rehabilitation program. The chief of Noatau district says Rutuma wants to do its part to help families in suffering. Sainiani Mboila has more.
People of Rutuma today came forward to contribute in their little own way.
Sympathize with you and join hands together with government and the people of Fiji in whatever little we have to offer to meeting the needs of the victims.
The people of Rutuma have donated 151 bags of ndalo and 130 bags of coconut to help Fiji in the rehabilitation process.
Eastern Commissioner Luke Moriwalu, who received the donation, says this is timely as people in affected areas have only been supplied with rice.
We have been supplying food crops, food rations to these people, particularly mainly on rice, flour, dal, and tin fish, and tin meat, and dal. Now this is a supplement to what we have been given, giving back their staple food, dalo and tapioca, which they have lost. And this should bring in change in their diet for the affected people.
All 280 bags of ndalo and coconuts have this evening been sent to affected areas for distribution. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
We have sports now. Here's Jamie with all the very latest.
Nakajaki, and good evening. Coming up, Suva and Nandi lose key players. And Fiji Sevens team moves into camp. This and more after the break.
मैं हूँ रेहान खान गुरबो तालेबू के जैसे फेस्टिवल आई ग्रेट है गुरबो में उसी तरह मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है गुरबो में
एलिन लटुका में मिर्ची एफएम को लॉक कर दिया जाए मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
हम नकाशी से साइमान है हमारा फेस्टिवल जैसे नंबर 1 है वैसे मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है
my name is Dinesh. I'm Nandi में काम करता है sleeping giant zipline में और मिर्ची FM is hot. I like it.
Mirchi FM.
The Suva and Nandi football teams have been dealt a blow ahead of next month's OFC Champions League in New Zealand. The Oceania Football Confederation has confirmed that 4 players from Nandi and 1 from Suva will not be able to compete in the regional meet. Rohit there with the details.
2 weeks out from the OFC Champions League, both Fijian teams have been told that some key players can't feature for their teams. Suva's New Zealand-based Joseph Turangamedi won't play for the Whites because the OFC rule states that a player must have participated in the National League competition.
He's a very good midfield. I told my official I didn't see him playing before, but since he joined Suva, I have seen him playing, and he was a good asset. Unfortunately, he cannot play our league.
Nandi will lose 4 players: Shoaib Khan, Apisai Smith, James Hoyt and Rajneesh Sharma. Nandi President Navnida Gounder, disappointed with the decision, says they will have to make do with what they have. Suva coach Gurjeet Singh is also not pleased with what has transpired.
I think we were allowed to enter these players, and then Oceania has told us that they cannot play because they haven't played the National League. So maybe that's the rule.
The OFC Champions League kicks off on the 8th of April in Auckland. Nandi plays Tahiti's AS Stefana on the opening day, while Suva takes on Team Wellington in its first match a day later. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team has moved into camp in preparation for the Hong Kong and Singapore tournaments next month. Returning to the squad from injuries, Apisai Ndomolailai and Viliame Mata. Vashnil Prasad with the report.
One last chance for the fans to wish the Fiji Sevens players the very best before they marched into the camp at Pacific Harbour this morning.
I'm looking forward to camp now after 4 days break, and Hong Kong is looming in 3 weeks' time, and we know that it's going to be a hard 2 weeks, especially preparing for Hong Kong.
Returning to the team is Viliame Mata, also cleared of knee injury is Isake Katonimbao.
Injured players are all back in camp. Good to see Sake walking around, so fit and healthy, and Watemo too. All the boys have recovered, and good to have Bill Mata and Bisnomanilai back.
Skipper Osea Kolinisau believes the side will continue to work together and build a winning combination for Hong Kong and Singapore Sevens.
We know our mistakes and our weaknesses from the last tournament, and I think the coach knows what we need to improve on, and we'll be working on that in the coming 2 weeks.
The Telecom Fiji Warriors thumped Samoa A 36-0 in Suva last night to clinch the World Rugby Pacific Challenge title. The Warriors dominated from the opening whistle and piled on the points to thrill the fans who packed into NZ Stadium. Tale and Daudakadaka reports.
There was jubilation all around as the Fiji Warriors celebrated its first Pacific Challenge title in 6 years. The tournament favourites were clearly dominant in all facets of play, but only led 16-0 at halftime through a penalty try and a try to Nathani Wakaya. The Samoans could only watch in the second half as the hosts crossed the chalk for 3 more tries.
Into Nathani Wakaya, the pop pass, and Wakaya goes into score for Vularika. The pass is good, the take is good also from Hicks. Hicks goes forward, breaks away, he's just short of the line, turns around.
The Warriors' scrum stood out in this year's tournament, repeatedly smashing the scrums for turnovers.
Pretty happy through the tournament. Just got to learn to make sure we actually play scrum by scrum and get through the game. You know, we tend to get a couple of good ones and have a bit of a rest because we think we're good. But overall, yeah, pretty happy with it.
The Warriors dedicated the win to victims of TC Winston as well as fallen teammate, the late Iosefo Mbele, who passed away prior to the Pacific Challenge final last year. Talent Odakadaka, FBC Sports.
26 teams are taking part in this week's Basketball Fiji Winston Appeal Tournament in Suva. All money raised from the 4-day tournament will go towards the Prime Minister's Disaster Relief Fund. Rohit there with the details.
Basketball Fiji has cancelled its annual Easter tournament, but for a good cause. The fundraising event is being held to help those affected by TC Winston.
So the initiative
we've decided to replace our National Easter Tournament with the appeal.
The North Bay Prospects team from California, USA is the only overseas team, but organizers say that will provide stiff competition to the local teams.
With any international team, it's an opportunity for our clubs to try and test their skills against them, and hopefully we will all be able to learn from each other.
Apart from the contribution by teams, all gate takings will go towards the Prime Minister's Relief Fund. Omar is calling on the people of Suva to come out in numbers in support of this great cause. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Weightlifting Fiji's Manueli Tulo has won a gold medal in the 56-kilogram category at the Australian Open Championships. Tulo lifted 108 kgs in the snatch and 134 kilos in the clean and jerk for a total of 242 kilograms. Also in Australia, Fijian duo Sally Yee and Gracie bundled out in the semi-finals of the under-21 grade women's doubles at the Oceania Championships. The Yee sisters lost to New Zealand by 3-1. Meanwhile, Leslie Copeland took part in the Perth Classic and the Sydney Classic events. He recorded a throw of 74.36 meters and 73 meters respectively. Local boxer Johnny Singh has his mind focused on a win as he prepares to take on Franco Fraser in the main supporting bout of the toe-to-toe boxing promotion next month. Singh has been showing some consistency with a win at the Westwood Boxing Promotion and a draw at the Wild West Boxing Promotion last year. Josephine Avula has the details.
Continues to up his training. Trainer Farman Ali says he's impressed with the effort shown by the 30-year-old.
Yeah, Johnny started training as soon as he signed the contract, and he's one of the athletes who does not rest. He trains on a off season as well, so it's easy for him to now adjust. It's just over a month left, so his training is coming up quite well.
Nicknamed as the machine gun, Singh will be touching gloves with Lautoka-based boxer Franco Fraser, a fight that is expected to be a tough face-off.
Franco is a very good boxer. He's come through the amateur ranks, and likewise Johnny. It's going to be a very good fight, and Firoz, the toe-to-toe promoter, is known for his matchmaking capabilities. I think he has matched up really well, so the crowd would see a good quality boxing on the boxing night.
The toe-to-toe boxing promotion will be held on the 23rd of next month at Prince Charles Park in Nandi. The main bout will be between Fiji lightweight champion Junior Farzan Ali and New Zealand champion Anthony Taylor. Josephine Avula, FBC Sports.
That's it from sports this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Digicel Fiji will take over operations of subscription television service Sky Pacific in less than 2 weeks. Digicel CEO Darren McLean says the buyout, which has been in the pipeline since September, will be finalised on the 1st of next month. McLean says from 1st of April, Sky Pacific will no longer broadcast the Fiji One and Pacific channels.
We made a significant deposit of $750,000 on the 17th of September last year, and that deposit has been held in trust by the Fbctv team. And the balance of the payment will be made on April 1st when we take operational control of Sky Pacific.
Digicel Fiji bought Sky Pacific for $5.75 million. Overcast conditions with rain was experienced over most places today. A low-pressure system lies moving over Fiji. Nadi topped off the day at 32 degrees this afternoon, while all other centres range between 30 and 31 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast is for rain and thunderstorms over the Fiji group. And the further outlook is for Thursday. Expect the rainy conditions to ease slightly. Recapping the main stories for tonight, water sources on Koro Island and Vanuatu contaminated. Flood alert for low-lying areas situated next to streams and creeks as heavy rain is forecast for the whole of Fiji. And Prime Minister Vorengen Bainimarama says Paris Agreement on climate change falls short. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. This week's poll question we are asking, is Fiji progressing well after Tropical Cyclone Winston? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Bye for now.
I'm Sarah, I'm from Tafwa, and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Freddy, I'm from Gamiatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Salah, I live in Asinu. Today FM rocks. My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Ulamila, I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM, it rocks in Raki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks. We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.